around here, we have a saying. No worries. Well, now, you better start worrying.
It's the most brutal stop on the road to Wrestlemania.
Great!
Unforgiving. Inescapable. The winner earns a championship match at Wrestlemania.
Flames get bigger while the moths all shiver. The subsidizing evil with no budget for a sequel. The Prozac gift wrapped with a smile. The cash grab never goes out of style. Your flashbacks give you a panic attack when your eyes go pitch black.
I am unbeatable as the women's world champion. Mommy is always on top.
The irresistible force has been unstoppable. And here we go, and the fight's on. The Women's World Championship.
You're gonna learn to fear me.
And now, live from Perth, Australia, Credit One presents WWE Elimination Chamber.
You are looking live at Optus Stadium in the middle of Perth, Western Australia. Over 50,000 WWE fans have traveled here from all over the world for the final PLE stop before Wrestlemania, Elimination Chamber.
The question is, are you ready? Let me talk to you. I will give you a show like you have never, ever seen before. Why? Because I can. What do you guys want to talk about? I am that damn good.
I am the B-E-S-T.
And the color red in a world full of black and white. I am the eater of worlds. Yeah, if you're some man, acknowledge me. The champ is here. But to be the man, you gotta beat the man, and I'm saying, woo, right here. Hey yo, the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to another episode of PCW Podcast Championship Wrestling. I am your host, Wayne, also known as Semi-Dry Chicken, and we are doing the post-Elimination Chamber 2024 show in Perth, Australia. And I am not alone. These guys are eager beavers. They want to talk about all these wonderful matches for the Chamber. Let's bring them in. there, mate?
Yo, what it do, PCW crew?
All right, Trey. You know what? Let's... minutes before the show started. Minutes. No, not really minutes, but relatively early. Got a message. Got an update. The theme. I mean, this guy, man, he's like Wade Barrett with these themes here. Just constantly changing his theme every week. I don't know who he is anymore. Here he is. Doyle.
Oh, it's me. It's a Doyle. Just getting ready for St. Patrick's Day with Becky Lynch's old music.
Dude, talk about old, like NXT.
That's what that
old.
is.
She used to come out and do a jig.
I do,
Boy,
dude.
Those were dark days.
I do remember those days on NXT. Honestly, like the NXT, like the golden years. Like if you go back to like the earlier seasons, they're so worth a watch. Like seeing people like Becky Lynch doing crap like that. Get to see Charlotte and Bayley and Sasha Banks and guys like Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns like early in their career. They did goofy shit.
I saw on YouTube, WWE's YouTube channel had a playlist of, I think they put it out shortly after the Rumble of Bayley, like a career playlist of some of her accomplishments. And it started off with a lot of those early NXT matches. And it was like, oh yeah, you saw young Charlotte, young-ish, not youngish, but young Sasha and young Bayley. And all those matches when she was just still the hugger with the ponytail to the side, trying to prove herself. And oh yeah, they was getting busy back then.
What was Roman's name back then? Was it like Leaky or something like that?
I forget what it was, but yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely want to talk about a guy whose character is nothing close to what he is now. I mean, talk about a massive change. Roman Reigns, holy crap. I mean, this is like pre-Shield, before the Shield was even formed, and then before the suckering succotash, Roman Reigns. So that's the one. Serve as a lesson to anybody. Like, don't judge these people on who they are now, because you never know what they could turn into. Hell yeah! All these people that y'all think, oh, they trash now, they suck, they ain't all that. Give them about a couple of years. I mean, it also
kind of find themselves sometimes. Like some people you love at NXT get to the main roster and just suck.
Oh yeah,
it happens.
Yeah, I'm just saying that nobody
I stopped watching NXT because I got so mad at some of the people I really liked when they got to the main roster, just got shit all over. So I was like, you know what? I'll just wait till they get to the main roster. I'll familiarize myself a little bit, but I'll wait till they get to the main roster until
don't get too invested.
Yeah.
Admit though, the NXT as a whole has paid off as like cycling out good, spin out good wrestlers for the main roster. I mean, yeah, we do get our fair share of like, flops or whatever, but 9 times out of 10, we get some pretty damn solid wrestlers.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a net positive. There are some things I would nitpick. There is quite a bit of sameness that they didn't used to have. Everybody kind of does the same stuff. Everybody does that. What? I can't believe it after a 2 count. Like there's certain things that like where I feel like back when they were just plucking people out of the territories and stuff. Everybody had their own unique kind of style and whatever. And I kind of feel like there's a kind of a homogeny that didn't used to exist. But again, it's just kind of being nitpicky.
No, but you're 100% correct about that, because when people had to come up through the territories, they had to prove themselves in those territories. They had to get over in those territories. So to do that, you had to develop some sort of character or some sort of persona. Whereas when you're already in a pre-existing, basically minor leagues or, building grounds or whatever for you to develop yourself, you kind of all start off as basically this same cookie cutter format. All the women have pretty much the same outfits and the same looks and such, and only a small handful of them really develop bona fide characters in NXT that could translate to the main roster or that can get them over in NXT the way older wrestlers had to get over in the territories. So no, you're 100% correct about that. And it's not always guaranteed that what they were in NXT is going to be who they are on the main roster. We've seen, like we've already mentioned, with people like Roman and Becky and Bayley and Charlotte and all of them who are vastly different from what they were back then. Like, can you imagine Rocky Maivia in NXT? Would he have ever found The Rock?
Yeah, maybe not.
Probably, maybe not.
You know, but I mean, especially like if you're a baseball fan or something, how many times you've been like, oh, we got this kid at AA or AAA or whatever, and then he gets to the majors and he sucks. You know, like sometimes people just can't handle that step up. You know, like I look at, and I'm not saying that the Creed brothers, is that what they are, the Cannonball guy? I'm not saying they're shitty or whatever, but in NXT they were world beaters. And they've kind of looked a little shaky on the main roster. And I'm not saying they won't get there. I think they will get there. But it's just that it's sometimes, and it's, I mean, we're obviously none of us are performers or whatever, but like just the difference in settings sometimes. You never know who's going to sink or swim.
Do you guys remember the Ascension?
There's really no way to tell.
Doyle, do you remember the Ascension? They were
that's a perfect example.
Big tag team at NXT. Comes to the main roster, buried.
Oh, they were brutal. Yeah.
Viking Raiders were just about the same. I mean, when they were on NXT, they were running havoc, and then they came to the main roster. Now, they became almost like a joke of a tag team. Their names were changed 3 times, and their finishers were changed multiple times.
The Viking Experience, right?
Oh my god, yeah, it sounded like a ride. Like, hey, let's take the Viking Experience. It's at Disneyland. What else do I want to bring up? Oh, we sold some more shirts. More PCW shirts. And just between now and, let's say, Wrestlemania, we're taking the PCW main shirt and we are taking $5 off.
Whoa.
Between now and
Breaking news.
Why? Because we can. And because it's Wrestlemania season, we're going to get more shirts out there. We're going to try to reach our goals so we can get some more designs out there. Also, I saw, that they are selling on WWE Shop. They're selling Philadelphia WrestleMania shirts already. And I wanted one, but then I thought about it. Looking at, what shirts I'm going to be wearing. Like, night 1, PCW shirt, right? Night 2, I got in my closet, I'm looking, I got The Rock, and I got Roman Reigns shirts. Do I wear those? I don't have a Seth Rollins shirt, I don't have a Cody Rhodes shirt. What do I do? Do I stick to my roots, what I've always liked in the past? That's why I have these shirts in the closet. That's why I have so many of The Rock shirts, because I was always a fan. Do I stick to my roots? Or do I jump on the Cody bandwagon and I go get myself an American Nightmare shirt? It's a hard decision.
I don't know, but I know I'm absolutely buying one of those Philly WrestleMania shirts.
Yes.
Especially since they're in Eagles colors, given that it's at the link. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know if I'm going to buy it in advance or if I'm going to buy it there. Because part of me kind of wants to check out that whole WWE World or thing.
Yeah, apparently the gift shop for that is free.
Right. So, if nothing else.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
You're right. If nothing else, I can walk in there and just window shop and buy a shirt.
Yeah, I mean, I think you should buy it while you're there because you can save yourself the shipping and the handling fees that WWE Shop likes to throw at you. It's just a lot easier to buy it there. Or, me and Doyle know there's always people in the parking lot selling them.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
and you'll have all the chances in the world.
You can always get you a bootleg on the outside.
Yeah. Hot off the presses.
The bootleg's gonna be serious.
Yeah, and then you know what though? You think about this.
You might say Wrestlemania, but
Give it like 1 week after WrestleMania, those shirts will all be like half off on shopzone.com. Like, that's for true. Sure. Like, you know, WWE's just going to want to unload all those shirts. They're like, we don't want any more of these shirts. Half off. Like, guaranteed. So that's that might be another time where I might like, ooh, like they have like sweatshirts and hoodies and stuff, and I was like, ooh, maybe that's when I'll capitalize on something a little bit pricier. So, but yeah, go to Pro Wrestling Tees to pick up our PCW shirts. Just type in Podcast Championship Wrestling. You can also buy a bunch of other wrestling shirts on that site. It's crazy. CM Punk shirts are going still on sale. I guess they're trying to get rid of all the CM Punk inventory on Pro Wrestling Tees. You know, you throw that.
Well, there shouldn't be any because they print their stuff to order.
Yeah,
I believe.
I think they do. I think it's printed.
So there shouldn't be a huge stockpile of CM Punk merchandise.
Yeah,
maybe he's just telling Hunter that so that he can keep his shit on though.
Yeah, because it seems like they're just pushing to like get his merch out there. And you know what? Like, I really hope he has some way, shape, or form as at WrestleMania. Like, whether he does commentary or whether he's like the MC, like the host.
Yeah, he's another person I could see being a host.
Yeah, like, it sucks that he just needs to be there. You know, like, just to have his presence. Like, damn it.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he and Big E were both pretty good during that press
pre-show for the.
Oh yeah, dude, absolutely.
I could definitely see him in that role.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I don't know if he'll be on the actual broadcast itself, given his injury. But, you know, I could see maybe him having an in-ring segment. But, again, I also don't know about that. If I had to put money on it, my guess is him and Big E would be, again, part of the pre-show like they were with the Rumble. I mean, not the Rumble. What you call it? The WrestleMania press conference, that pre-show.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if they didn't find something for him to do.
Yeah, right? You, like, sign... He's such a huge contract that you signed.
Yeah.
And it's like, holy crap. But...
I think we'll continue to see him. I won't be surprised to see him on commentary on Raw or SmackDown, you know, in the next couple months or whatever. They're going to keep him on TV. And especially if they're going to keep pushing this Drew storyline.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't make much sense. Doesn't make much sense for Drew to keep talking shit about him and him not to be around at all.
And clap back in some way, shape, or form. Yeah. Exactly.
I like the rate that we're going, like the direction. I kind of like, you know, this is a payoff in the summer. I'm kind of predicting, but like the rate we're going, I see Drew, you know, walking out WrestleMania as world champion, and whatever pay-per-views we have in between now and SummerSlam.
How would he become world champion? What do you do to earn that title shot?
You know what? I'm assuming we'll just get there however we get there. We'll get there however we get there. But, like, I see CM Punk coming back, and this feud is staying hot, right? Like, we talked about this last episode. Like, this is a feud that's staying on the back burner. It could be all summer. Whenever Punk comes back, we'll make this the SummerSlam feud. Punk beats him for the world title. You know, then bam, you got Punk now has the world title at the end of the summer. But,
and then he gets hurt.
Again. Don't you dare say that, Doyle, you son of a bitch.
Tears of the tricep in the championship match.
God damn it. Oh, shit. You know what, Dre, tell us about this pay-per-view. Tell us, let's kick off the show for the Elimination Chamber.
Yep. I mean, it took place from Perth, Australia. They had about just under 60,000 people there. I think the final total said was like 57 and some change, or 58 and some change. It aired at butt crack of dawn over here in the States for us.
Yeah, real quick. Can we pause? What time did you guys watch this? I just want to confirm all three of us here.
I watched at like maybe like I got up at like 9 o'clock Saturday morning because I wasn't even about to try to force that 5 o'clock shit. Like, no chance in hell. I got up at like 9 o'clock, did what I planned on doing, cooked myself a nice breakfast, came upstairs, ready to watch it, pull up Peacock, get ready to hit play, and it says replay will be available soon. And I'm like, the fuck you mean available soon? I know damn well the show ended like an hour ago. What the hell taking so long? But
the signal has a long way to travel. So
right. I'm guessing they probably included the post press conferences in it as well, which I didn't watch. But yeah, I mean, like within maybe like 10 minutes, it was ready. So I just sat down and watched it like normal Saturday morning, 9:30ish, I think, something like that.
Yeah, I'm actually in the same boat you are. We got up. I like looked at the clock at like it was like 4:39, 4:40. I looked at the clock and I was like,
fuck yourself.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. I went right back to bed, and I did the same thing. I like woke up like 9ish, and I tried to watch it. Wouldn't let me, and I was like, "No, this is some bullshit." Because when it was on the WWE Network, we wouldn't have this problem. I was like, I don't like this. Like, why can I not join and like rewind it, whatever?
Yeah, you really ought to be able to start it in progress.
It really it sucks. Well, you know what? I think in the network, wasn't it like you would start it, but you couldn't rewind it until it was like through or something? I think it was something like there was like a catch to it because it was kind of a real pain in the dick. But yeah, this still that sucked, and we're gonna have to put up with this, in the future when they go to other countries to continue this. Doyle, when did you get around to it?
I think I watched it in 2 sittings. I watched some of it that afternoon, probably around 1 or 2, and then I watched the rest of it at like 12:30 at night. But I mean, I already knew everything that was going to happen before I even turned it on. It's, I am incapable of any self-control over saving myself from spoilers. I don't really care. I mean, it was chalk. We all knew who was going to win every match, so it's the journey, not the destination. Sometimes.
Yeah. Kind of hard to worry about spoilers when you're dealing with one of the most predictable PLEs WWE's put on in quite some time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we spoiled it last episode.
So. I mean, I was you're really only watching to see what the spots are because you know what the outcome is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
But that's okay sometimes when things are logical and make sense. It's okay, I think, to know what's going to happen. It's when things are fucking goofy and nonsensical. That's when I don't want to know. But I think everything that happened made sense for the stories that have been ongoing and will be going forward. So it didn't really bother me that I kind of figured I knew everything that was going to happen.
Yeah. So I guess kicking things off prior to the actual PLE itself, we got a match that we did not talk about in our preview show because it had not been announced, and that was the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match featuring the Kabuki Warriors defending against Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. Why? Because Indy's from Australia, and you got to give the hometown homie some spotlight in their hometown, which I have no problem with whatsoever. I'm willing to set aside the fact that this title match was completely unearned. In no way, shape, or form whatsoever were they number one contenders at all. But you put on for the hometown, so I'm okay with it. Naturally.
And they used it on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
That they weren't, or Chelsea Green, or maybe somebody said, how did they get a title shot? What the? So
yeah, it was Zoe Stark and
nodded to the audience and said, hey, look, we know.
Yeah, and that's smart booking, in my opinion. Like, Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler this past Monday on Raw complained about them getting that title shot, and then subsequently went on to beat the shit out of them on Raw that Monday. So, at least it wasn't completely a waste. Like, they used it to further other storylines or just further the overall storyline of the women's tag division. So that was fair enough. Honestly, I did not watch the match because why?
It was a fun little match. I mean, it served its purpose, get some Aussie talent in front of the crowd right away. You know, it's actually one of the better showings I've seen out of Candice LeRae, who I think she's like pretty good at the actual physical act of performing professional wrestling moves, but just has fucking no connection to the audience whatsoever.
I just thought it was a little sloppy, like some of the.
Yeah, I wish it had been a little faster paced.
Exactly, maybe that's what it was.
Glorified dark match.
But you know what though? Critical. Like, yeah, Indy got the crowd kind of warmed up here. We're starting now. Okay, get us a little warmed up. Yeah,
I don't know why this couldn't have been on the actual card.
That too. I don't understand.
When you only had 4 other fucking matches.
It feels kind of degrading, almost like the fact that you wouldn't include them on the actual card. But
yeah.
I mean, it's separated by a few minutes of recaps, and then it's like, we're starting the show. But hey, guess what? Like the women's tag titles were defended on a pay-per-view. Maybe a kickoff show.
If we only had 5 matches, 3 of them are women's matches.
There's that.
It's kind of cool.
I mean, like, meanwhile, other titles, but
sure.
Carry on, Dre.
Yep. So that match happened. It was. It is what it was.
I like when you say that because I know what matches you're talking about when you're like, that match happened. You always say that. I love it.
So moving on to the actual PLE itself, it kicked off with the Women's Elimination Chamber match, which I'm noticing is a bit of a trend with WWE PLEs. They almost always start off with a women's match, especially if it's I won't say a gimmick pay-per-view, but one that has a men's and women's version of it. Like they did that this year with the Rumble. They kicked that off. That kicked off the Royal Rumble, was the Women's Rumble match. And didn't War Games, didn't Survivor Series kick off with the Women's War Games match?
Yeah, I think that's what happened.
Yeah. It's an effective tool because obviously we know the women are gonna show out when there's those type of matches. They're always gonna bring it. They're always gonna tear the house down, and it's a good way to kick the pay-per-view off on a high note. So I mean,
frankly, I'll say more about this later. But judging by the state of the mat by the end of the night, I would have been thrilled to go first.
Oh yeah, that thing went through some.
You want me to go first? I'll go first. Me, right here.
Yeah, it did. It did sound a little weird on this show. Like, I didn't really pay that much attention to it, but it was certain times where I heard spots and I'm like, ring sound a little different.
Hey man, they had to ship it all the way to Australia. It was hard enough for them to even get the chamber there, let alone
Yeah. I don't know if it was because of the delay or whatever, but that looks like they did not have their lighting together, and it got more apparent. It was more apparent in the men's match, but just fucking weird shadows.
Yeah,
this match wasn't so affected because it was still daylight, but like, what's up with the lighting on this the whole show?
You know what though?
Yeah, it was really noticeable in the men's Elimination Chamber matches. Yeah. Like sometimes it'd just be a shadow over Drew, and I'm like, where the fuck did this shadow come from?
Complete shadow, and their body would be lit up. It was weird.
I mean, that's what you get for having an outdoor arena, right? We're going to have these kind of issues.
I guess so, but you would think they would be able to control that lighting a little bit better to make it more
especially
consistent.
When they got the whole ring under a huge canopy.
Right.
Now, I think that's what was causing maybe some of the shadows. Was I don't know if it was the chamber itself that was that was causing certain shadows, or the pillars holding up the canopy that were casting shadows at weird spots, or what. But yeah, it was definitely noticeable at times and jarring.
What you got to remember though is like when we're looking at lighting. It also has to go through the actual structure of the chamber, and that's going to definitely throw some of the lighting off inside the ring. But what I did notice is when they would pan out like really far, what has kind of changed, and Doyle, you and me are going to appreciate this kind of shit, is they turn down the lights in the crowd. They're no longer like shining huge lights into the crowd, like blinding you so you can't see the damn ring. I mean, Doyle, you and me had that issue.
I was just praising their lighting on our last episode.
Yeah, and it
The fuck were they doing?
Yeah, and it makes me excited for WrestleMania knowing that maybe we won't be blinded the whole pay-per-view. Because, honestly, like, it's like the Wells Fargo where Raw will be the night after, which I'm still contemplating on going. Any seat in the house, I feel like, is a good spot for wrestling. I think. It's just one of those arenas. It's just the size. Me and Doyle are, we had the nosebleeds, and it was still good seats, right?
Yeah, that's a pretty well laid out arena.
Yeah, so like
it's good for. I go there for hockey all the time.
Yeah, if they don't blind you with the light, then golden.
But there's nowhere bad in there. There are places that are better than others, but there's nothing shitty. It's not like there's nowhere where you're sitting behind a pole or in a seat that's facing the wrong way, or unless you're sitting behind the WrestleMania sign.
Yeah,
right.
But
oh my god.
Well, who knew? All you had to do was just get rid of Kevin Dunn to get some decent crowd lighting.
Dude. The small things we're noticing, gentlemen. Small things.
Right. So, back to the match itself.
After
all the 4 competitors of Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez. No, she started off. Bianca, Liv,
Tiffany.
Naomi and Tiffany Stratton all entered the ring. Then we got our 2 competitors who started off the match, which were Raquel Rodriguez and Becky Lynch. And we got a good...
and Naomi started, I think.
Oh, you're right. I stand corrected. So I was just about to say, because I remember them, Naomi and Becky had a good sequence of chain wrestling to kind of start off the match, which was nice.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't quite as fast paced as I would have liked, but it was a good sequence of just good old fashioned chain wrestling back and forth. Which, again, nice way to start the match and buy time while still building things up. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
How many times did you watch this match?
How many times did I watch it?
Yeah.
I only watched it the one time.
Okay, because I thought the same thing the first time. I was like, oh man, I didn't know I wanted a Becky and Naomi program. But then I watched it a second time, and they both looked like they were underwater. They both looked sloppy as shit. It was slow. They both settled in as it went on, but oof. On that second watch, I was like, ooh.
Again, I'm not saying it was flawless.
Well,
I'm not saying it was flawless, because you could definitely see, even me watching it the first time, I could see how telegraphed what they were doing was. It wasn't quite as fluid as... 2 wrestlers who maybe have better chemistry with each other or such. So I kind of get that point that you were saying, but overall, still nice to see a sequence of chain wrestling from women that something that we usually don't see from them as often.
Dre, you're absolutely right. Chain wrestling. Have you ever seen anybody hang from the side of the Elimination Chamber and twerk? I would take that as a no, but that is the fine chain wrestling you were talking about. I was like, I think Naomi just twerked on Becky, hanging off the side of the chamber. I'm like, check under new item.
Speaking of Naomi and her offense, she did use that cage quite effectively.
Yeah, that's
not just twerk.
Leg drop thing.
Yeah, the leg drop. Oh, that was a nice spot where she did that split leg drop on the 2 of them. That was a dope spot. Also, I think it may have been Becky that she caught, with her thighs and literally used her thighs and butt to just ram her face into the cage. Yeah. There were some good spots and some nice creative.
She had a nice. I forget what the move is called. Somerset roll off the top of the pod onto somebody.
Oh, yeah, sunset flip.
Sunset flip, thank you.
Yeah.
Somerset roll.
Dude, what? This guy.
Don't do drugs, kids.
Somerset roll.
Yeah, but like I said, nice spots throughout the whole match. Becky hitting using the disarmer on Tiffany. I think it was on Tiffany or Liv. Using the actual cage itself for leverage on it. So, and Tiffany Stratton, I think Tiffany Stratton kind of showed out the most in this match.
Dude.
In terms of...
Are you kidding me? She was, like, amazing during this match. I mean... There's multiple spots she had from, like, taking Becky and Naomi on her shoulders at once. Like, she almost did, like, I was waiting for, like, a John Cena spot there. And then, like, the Swanton. Like, tell me, what's the difference between Jeff Hardy and Tiffany Stratton? One of them took a Swanton off the top of the Elimination Chamber pod. And guess what? It wasn't Jeff Hardy.
Nope.
If this is what we're getting for female wrestling going forward, for women's wrestling, this is awesome.
I mean, she's only 24. Dude. I think she's only been wrestling for like 3 years or something.
Yeah,
like,
and that's promising.
Holy
that's like
fuck.
Awesome.
Yeah,
like, let's get
like
that.
She's got.
I think we've been in a golden age, but it's just about to get a whole lot better. I think.
Now, Doyle, this is one of those coming up from NXT. Like, this is the one that, the 9 out of 10. Like, this is like the one.
Yeah, I mean, I never really. I am familiar with her a little bit, and because it becomes apparent at a certain point that some of these people are going to be, going forward, are going to be huge people to start looking out for. So, like I saw her match with Becky Lynch. So I've watched her a little bit. I've obviously more since she's been on the main roster. But holy fuck, she's only 24. Rhea's only 27.
Yeah.
Bianca, Becky, Bayley all still have great years ahead of them. We're the next couple of years are going to be really special. I think.
Yeah.
Keep your eye on.
The asset that really works in Tiffany Stratton's favor, as far as her moveset, is her background as a gymnast.
Right.
And you can see it in all the flying moves that she does. Like her swanton, like Jeff Hardy's swanton was almost an immediate flip over. Like he didn't really have to cover a whole lot of distance. But Tiffany Stratton, because she has that gymnast background, she's able to cover much more distance before she makes the turn into the swanton, and it just makes it so much better. Plus her lines and her form, which
it's just so much more graceful.
Extends from that gymnast background. Her moonsault, they call it the world's prettiest moonsault, and I mean, it's hard to argue. She's probably got the nicest moonsault I've seen since Kurt Angle.
Well, women-wise,
I've heard Shawn Michaels say that he's found the gymnasts tend to pick up wrestling a little faster than some athletes coming from some other sports.
Yeah,
and it makes sense.
Yeah, because as a gymnast, you have to be a master of your body. Your body is the
spatial
tool
awareness.
Exactly.
Yeah,
well,
that's what Charlotte was before she started wrestling. She was a gymnast.
Who's that?
Charlotte.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what she was before. Because another female who does moonsaults pretty well for her size is Charlotte, and Lacey Evans also was one. They blew it with her, but I mean, keep your eye on Tiffany Stratton.
The Olympics, the Summer Olympics are coming up. Watch the gymnastics; they are all fucking ripped, men and the women.
Yeah,
ripped. I think she's probably way too small. I think Alexa Bliss would tower over her. But can you imagine Simone Biles in a WWE ring? The kind of shit she could do.
Simone Biles versus Bianca Belair. Book it.
Amazing. Yeah, but Bianca's like a foot and a half taller than her. She would look so tiny.
I know.
What is she, like 5'8" or something? She's tiny.
Who? Simone?
Yes.
Oh, she's like 4'11".
Oh, that's what I meant. I meant like 4'8". She's tiny.
Yeah.
What did I say? 5'8"? I meant 4'8".
Yeah, she's short as hell, but like fucking all packed with power.
Oh, but she's amazing. She's one of the most amazing things I've ever seen.
Hey, did you guys thinking about the attire for some of the women during this match? Did you guys dude, I think Bianca's outfit was pretty cool. It was like almost like Andrew thought it looked like a Princess Leia outfit almost.
That's what I thought. I thought it looked like Jabba the Hutt, Princess Leia.
And Becky Lynch had the Scott Hall fucking look.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys noticed Raquel she had no makeup on because I guess she couldn't with her the way her skin breaks out. Maybe she might have an allergic reaction because it looked like her face was kind of swelling up towards the end of the match. I know she's having a reaction at something.
Yeah, she acknowledged it on Instagram afterwards that the condition that she has, I don't remember the exact name of it, but the acronym is MACS.
Mm-hmm.
Mass activation cell syndrome, I think, or something like that. Yeah. But she said that during the flight to Australia it flared up on her.
I know, that sucks.
That's why she was unable to, wear makeup like she typically would, or like most of the women typically does. But I still applaud her for being brave enough to come out there and without makeup and still perform.
Yep.
And
no doubt.
Obviously, this is probably going to be a new normal for her, so something to expect. I just hope that she can manage it in a way that doesn't negatively impact her wrestling career in any unfortunate way, so that she doesn't have to miss like another 3 months of wrestling because she has like a severe outbreak. Hopefully she can manage it in a way to keep, severe outbreaks like that to a minimum.
Right.
And, at worst we may see like she pops up on Raw or PLE without makeup, went to the Blue Moon. And honestly, it could be I wouldn't be mad if it was a silver lining that turned out to have other women take a chance and like not have.
Hold on now. Hold on before you say that. Like, dude, be careful, dude.
What?
Be careful with that.
I wouldn't be opposed to having the women come out there just without makeup, just because not necessarily as a gimmick thing or something like that, but not have to be as dolled up as they get. Which, I mean, yes, it's nice to see. It's a good visual, but ultimately we're there to see them perform. The makeup and all that is secondary.
Women MMA fighters aren't wearing makeup.
Yeah. The makeup is secondary. It's part of obviously the pageantry of professional wrestling and all, but it's not a necessity. And they've done it. I mean, they've done it before. You can go on WWE's YouTube and see a segment that they filmed a few years ago where they had a number of the WWE women do like a no makeup photo shoot. I believe Bianca was a part of it. Rhea Ripley was a part of it.
Some of them were unrecognizable. I'm sorry. It's just there was a picture of Dana Brooke and I was like, who the fuck is that?
Sure. Some of them Dana Brooke. Can see like without makeup, like it's a huge difference. But then people like Bianca, just as fucking gorgeous without makeup as she is with it. I mean, Io, Rhea, all of them still look completely fine without it. So, I mean, again, that's, I guess, wishful thinking on my part. And again, I'm not saying it has to happen, but if that ends up being a byproduct of Raquel Rodriguez coming out wrestling without makeup on, is that other women on the roster start to do it just out of just by choice, then I think that's a win.
Yeah, and I really like her. I guess I didn't really realize it until she's come back, and maybe it's applause for overcoming whatever her weird illness is or whatever. But I hope she gets something more meaty to do in this coming year, because she has won a couple tag titles, I think, but mostly she's just kind of been there. I hope she gets a little more to do. I don't know how to say it than that.
Did you guys notice? So I know I'm like kind of like veering back here to the chamber. Did you guys notice some newer things with the chamber? Like they have cameras inside the pods now.
Yeah, was that new? I couldn't remember.
I think we may have seen cameras in the pods, but like never like on the Titantron, like individually in the pods.
I wish they played that up a little more. I guess I'll talk about it more in the men's match, because Logan Paul did all kinds of funny shit, and they didn't show it on the broadcast.
Also, I knew it was like over 100 degrees they were talking about there, so you could see that they had fans inside the pods, which was nice. So these people weren't like sweating their asses off.
You could see
these pods.
I saw a quote from Randy saying something about that, like because the original chamber was, I think there were chains for the pods, and now they're like closed in there.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's brutal in there.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it might not be as necessary if you're in an arena that's temperature controlled to a certain extent. Yeah. You're just outside with the elements.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
you can see some people breaking out sweats real fast.
They also played up the WWE 2K stats. They like you were playing in your video game. Like they would show like Bianca Belair was like 95, and they showed all four corners of everybody's stats, what they were. Which I don't know, I kind of like it. I mean, if you don't play the video game, maybe like you're like, I don't know, you don't get it. I mean, like, but for us, if we play the video game, we some of us take those rankings very serious. Those stats.
Yeah, I wasn't really into it at first, but then I started thinking, WrestleMania season means more casual eyeballs to start with. Add that to the fact that the product is hotter than it's been in years.
Do you think
so I think it's a kind of a nice way to tell a casual viewer kind of who's who and what's going on. You can kind of say, oh, well, that person's a 75 and that person's an 89 and I think it just kind of helps bring you up to speed a little faster if you haven't been watching this every week for 40 years like I have.
And it's consistent branding. I mean,
Sure.
the ratings thing is not new to WWE 2K games. It's also not new to sports games, period. I mean, 2K's been doing this for as long as they've been making games. They've been doing it with the NBA 2K series. I think, hell, it even goes back further than that. 'Cause I think Madden has ratings, even though it's not 2K, but player ratings in Madden, that's always been a thing.
And I mean, you've heard guys complain about their ratings.
Right, yeah. Every time a new Madden games come out, you're going to have NFL players complaining about their ratings. Or there's somebody's QB rating, like, oh, Patrick Mahomes he's a 95, he should have been a 97. Or Josh Allen was a 92 and he should have been a 93. Or Tyreek Hill's complaining because he got rated as a 91, whereas Justin Jefferson was a 93, and he's like, I'm better than Justin Jefferson. Yeah. So this isn't a new thing. It's just WWE hopping on that same bandwagon that's always been a thing, which as we all know, that WWE wants to be seen as a, quote, legitimate sport, unquote, as much as possible. So anything that they can do that the other sports are doing that they can kind of latch onto and start doing as well, they're going to do it. And this 2K ratings thing is just on brand with that.
Yes, sir.
I wouldn't mind seeing people complain about it in actual storylines.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Like, if you're going to do it, integrate it into the product itself, or have the ratings change throughout the year. Like, carry it on, don't just do it with anticipation of the game coming out. Do it throughout the year. Like, somebody goes on a losing streak, all of a sudden their 2K rating drops from like a 85 down to maybe like a 78.
What spot they need in 2K is the spot where Liv did a seated senton on Raquel. She was like stretched out in the corner, and then Liv did like a seated senton off the top of the chamber onto her stomach. I thought that shit was fucking cool. I was like,
there were a lot of cool spots,
dude. In the women's, I think the women's
and I liked it because
Elimination Chamber is probably the best match of the
women's
night.
Matches more specifically, but the men do it too sometimes. I feel like big spots in women's matches feel really forced sometimes. A group of people just suddenly standing around waiting for somebody to come dive onto them, and I kind of didn't really, I felt like a lot of this stuff happened organically. It wasn't nearly as obviously choreographed as sometimes matches like this end up being.
The women have gotten much better at that, as not telegraphing their big spots as much, because obviously the women's product is slower than the men's, so there's going to be, you can see the seams a whole lot more in women's matches, but the better they can do to hide that stuff, the better the product looks. And like you said, those big spots, when they make them seem a little bit more natural or more organic or more in the flow of the action that's already happened, as opposed to saying, okay, here's this person on the top rope. Okay, here's this person who doesn't throw a punch but just happens to slide themselves in between this person's legs. And here comes the other one. And then they all stand there for 5 seconds and big spot.
Yeah, exactly. But, coming out of this match, I still don't know where we're going with Bianca.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure.
Finish of the match, obviously,
towards that.
So yeah, obviously the person we thought was going to win this match won the match, and Becky Lynch. So she's moving on to face Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. Spoiler alert for the other match, but facing Rhea Ripley for the women's world title at WrestleMania. And yeah, coming out of this, we have a number of women who are left seemingly directionless going into WrestleMania. Most notably, like you said, Bianca Belair. Where does this leave her?
Well, don't look now, but Bianca Belair is undefeated at WrestleMania. And she, not only that, she has ended every one of her matches by holding a title above her head, whether she came in with it or won it there. But I think that's a streak we need to preserve. And that's why I'm going to once again advocate for Bianca and Jade versus the Kabuki Warriors at WrestleMania. We didn't even was Bianca even on Raw last night?
Bianca, no.
So we're really running out of time to do something with her, whatever. And she's on all the fucking posters, so it's not like she's not going to be in the Mae Young Invitational Battle Royal or whatever. Like I expect her to be in a pretty prominent spot of some kind.
Yeah, my guess is if I had to bank on something, whatever she's doing for WrestleMania, they're probably going to start it this Friday on SmackDown, and they seem to be heading towards a possible Tiffany Stratton versus Bianca Belair match, which just saying it doesn't seem like it would be that big of a deal. But when you look at the quality of the competitors, it could make for a potentially show-stealing match because both of them can absolutely go in the ring. Tiffany Stratton has already demonstrated that she can hang with the best of them in the ring.
Well, not only that,
put on a great one-on-one match. I think that's still
the crowd in Australia loved her.
That's why I think it's still TBD.
Liv.
Yeah, that's why I think it's still TBD. Just because it's Australia. Again, nothing against them, but
sure, I don't think she's going to come and be a baby face or anything. But I mean, like the crowd is into her.
Yeah, the Australian crowd was definitely into her. She got a huge pop there. I'm just curious to see if that's going to translate back to the States. So, I mean, is she going to get the same pop this Friday on SmackDown that she got in Australia or back here in the States that she did in Australia? Or was the Australia pop just a one-off?
I tend to think it's going to be – I think she's going to take it with her, I think. But I guess we'll see. I'm always surprised maybe it's because Stratton is such an English name. I'm always surprised when Tiffany Stratton isn't English.
I think you said that before. How about the finish for this match? Unlike most chamber matches, this was a really quick finish where Bianca got put away, rolled up by Liv, and then Liv turned around and bam, Becky put her away right away. It was like bam, bam, bam. Like I liked it. It was like a lengthy, down to the last three, and then real quick 1, 2, 3, done. So
the only part I didn't like about it was the fact that Bianca got pinned with a simple roll-up. Like, to me, she deserved a better elimination than just, Liv snuck up on her, rolled her up, and pinned her. Just kind of caught her by surprise. You wouldn't expect something from that to be of someone of her caliber. They could have worked out a better finish.
Roles reversed.
At least take a finisher.
Exactly. Like, somebody like Bianca, you got to finish her with a finisher.
Yeah, but
like, they could have worked out some sort of spot where, like,
Liv? Would you want Liv be the one Bianca rolls up and then Bianca turns around and Becky puts her away?
No, I mean, I'm not opposed to Bianca having
like that finish.
To the sequence of like Bianca gets eliminated, then Becky takes advantage of that and gets Liv. It's just the fact that it was a roll up. Like, I would have rather like she hits Oblivion on her.
You're just not a fan of the roll ups.
No, not in that sense.
I think they were just trying to protect her.
I would have preferred like Liv hits Oblivion on her, like hit a finisher on her. Somebody of that caliber, you should have to hit them with your best to beat them. Like Bianca getting pinned with a roll up, just it didn't sit right with me. Again, like if Liv hits Oblivion on her, gets the pin, and then as she stands up, immediately turns around into a manhandle slam from Becky Lynch, and then Becky gets her. To me, that makes a little bit more sense. Like Becky Lynch is just sitting and lying in wait and strikes like how Randy Orton strikes with his RKO, but she strikes with the manhandle slam and catches her. that would have made more sense. That was my only gripe about this match.
She could have
was
been
just Bianca getting pinned with a roll up.
She could have been put away with Doyle's Somerset roll.
Yes, that's what I order at the sushi restaurant. You guys think Liv is primed for a heel turn, perhaps?
She's fresh back. I mean, like...
Based upon what happened this past Monday on Raw, maybe, but I think they're going to... I think she's going to live in the gray for a while.
Yeah, I feel like we got too many babyface women all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Especially if Jade Cargill is going to be one. And Rhea is trending that way more and more. Because I mean, if you think about how many heels do we have? Rhea, maybe, I don't know. But I mean, just Nia,
technically,
Tiffany, Chelsea, and Piper.
Zoe and Shayna, I think, are technically heels.
But there's not a lot. I feel like there's a ton of women baby faces all of a sudden. We got to start turning some people heel here. I think Becky might be primed for a heel turn also. Although she's not really showing it on TV, but I think Liv kind of is.
Yeah, potentially I could see it with Liv. I don't see it being like an immediate heel turn. I think it's one of the things that's going to be almost kind of like how Drew's heel turn has been.
Like over the course of 2 months.
Right, it's going to take time because she's going to have to find her character as a heel, more or less, because her just talking smack and just attacking people isn't going to work, and it isn't going to get her over. So she's going to be successful as a heel. She's going to have to find her niche. She's going to have to find what the natural evolution of her current character is as a heel into something that feels natural and something that can connect with the audience. It kind of makes a little bit like what she did this past Monday with Becky was simple but effective. She had a match with Nia Jax. She was doing her thing. And then, I mean, she was getting her teeth kicked in and getting stomped out by Nia Jax, but she was still competitive in the match, which to me has always been, I think, Liv Morgan's best gimmick for her is that perpetual underdog who doesn't give up, who can sit there and take a beating, but you can't pin her. You can't make her quit. And somehow, every now and then she'll find a way to come back and win, or she'll find a way to steal a win from somebody. I think that's always been her best character, her character trait. So her having the match on Monday and then Becky Lynch interfering and her being pissed off about it because she didn't get to finish her match, and naturally confronting Becky Lynch backstage saying, yo, it's not all about you. Like, mind your fucking business sometimes. That's a natural reaction for her. So if they can keep going in that natural progression of Liv to things that make sense, and if that leads towards her becoming a heel at some point, then yeah, I'm with it. But if they just try to like force it, like at the snap of a finger, like, okay, she's a heel now, then it's not going to work.
Well, we shall see.
So I have the pay-per-view running in the background, and after we just finished up the women's match, they showed a 2K commercial. Do you guys know if you pre-order, you can also get 1 month of Peacock free with your purchase?
Oh,
that's new.
A whole month.
Hey, dude, that's a whole month of binging you could do. That's one.
I bet it ain't the commercial-free version. You know it's that Peacock basic tier that'll still give you commercials. If it ain't premium, get the fuck out of here.
Damn, that's still cool though. Like, and what else did I see? Oh, you can get Stardust with it, and you can get him with his mask. Like, who the fuck wants to play
Dashing Cody Rhodes?
Dashing Cody Rhodes. Yes, but who the fuck wants to play Stardust? Who's like excited? Like, do you think Carlos is pre-ordering this game and he's just like excited to play as Stardust? Do you think that's something Carlos might do? Maybe Dave.
Oh, there's somebody out there who can't wait to have Stardust and Goldust together as tag team champions.
Dude, to bring them back. Or how about to have all the Rhodes, there's all the Codys in one, and then, you know, they just got stories. All of them have stories to finish. Oh, man. It's...
Somebody wants it.
Their fucking stable could be called The Never Ending Story, and then come out to the Never Ending Story theme song. The Never Ending Story.
Somebody wants it. Somebody wants it to happen. There's somebody out there right now every day just dreaming for a Stardust versus
they're painting their face up. They're ready.
Yeah, they're dreaming for a Stardust versus Demon Finn Balor SummerSlam match or something.
Who pre-ordered it just for that though? I wonder. Like, and like to be the guy who works, at 2K to see that somebody actually pre-ordered it. Hey, we got one. Somebody actually fucking bought it. I can't believe it either. Oh God. Sorry, Dre. You were saying.
No, like I said, there's something for everybody. Somebody out there wants it to happen, and they can't fucking wait to finish the real unfinished story, the story of Stardust. But moving on, the following match after the Women's Elimination Chamber match, we got the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship match featuring Finn Balor and Damian Priest of the Judgment Day defending against New Catch Republic. The team of...
Rolls off the tongue.
I know, right? It just flows. The team of Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. Well, apparently, New Catch Republic, which I imagine only means something to you if you're in Europe. So those in Europe, I imagine they're like, fuck yeah. The States are like, okay. Now, going into this match as I was watching it, I mentioned in the Discord, about wanting to skip this match. I'm like, I wish I could skip this match. Kind of jokingly. But I will say, after the match was over with, this might have been damn near my match of the night. Even though
what?
Yeah, this was damn near my match of the night. Okay. Not just because obviously the finish was what we all expected, Judgment Day retained. But out of all the matches, this one surprised me the most in the sense that it felt like it exceeded my expectations. I'll say that. I thought this was going to be just a standard run-of-the-mill tag team match. They'll let them go for a little while, and then obviously shenanigans will happen and Judgment Day will win. But when this match was over with, it felt like a true pay-per-view caliber championship match. Mm-hmm. In the sense that in a way that I wasn't expecting it to be. Like, this type of match that happened between these four, you don't get this on Raw. You don't get this on SmackDown. This is the only kind of match that you would get on a pay-per-view, on a premium live event, in terms of they got I swear it felt like damn near 30 minutes to cook with. When the last time you saw that from a tag team match?
It was 17 minutes to 25 seconds, but that's
it was
lengthy.
What?
17 minutes, 25 seconds, but
it felt way longer than that.
On Raw, that would have a commercial break.
Yeah, for a tag match, that is very lengthy. You're absolutely
That's very
right.
long for a tag match. Yeah, a consistent time. I swear it felt longer than that. And there was so much back and forth between it. Yeah, there were so many points in this match where I thought, okay, it's over. They're getting to the finish. And it kept going. And like I said, the momentum swayed back and forth so many times in this match where you thought Judgment Day was going to finish him off. Then you thought, okay, Catch Republic might actually pull this one out, or they have the momentum this way, or you think so many false finishes. Like, this match really, really exceeded my expectations and delivered. And when I was done with it, I was like, that was a true pay-per-view caliber championship match. Not just a regular tag team match. Like, it really felt like two teams fighting for a championship. Like what I used to see in old school wrestling, of two teams just absolutely going at it. This is probably the best tag team match I've seen since the street fight that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn had with Judgment Day when they lost. It's definitely the best tag team match that Judgment Day's had since that match. And yeah, like I said.
Yeah, I can't for the life of me figure out why they cannot get the tag division going. I mean, they've proven they can put on super fun tag team matches.
Yeah, they can put on
into it.
Mm-hmm. But they just don't want to. They don't seem to want to invest in the story. The matches are there. The storylines aren't. Mm-hmm. They just put people in the ring and just say, all right, go out there and cook for however many minutes. But there's hardly any, you think about the whole tag team division as it stands right now, at least on the men's side. What tag teams have an actual storyline with each other? There's really only one, and that's Imperium and New Day. They're the only ones that have any kind of actual storyline or any kind of actual long-running feud with each other. Everybody else is just like random, is like tag team A versus tag team B of the week. At least these guys had something that's transcended weeks on end, and it seemingly culminated in this street fight, which again was a great match on Raw this past Monday. But where's that for the rest of the tag teams in the division? Mm-hmm. Where's that for Creed Brothers? These guys came in, got a bunch of wins, lost the tag team title match, ain't been seen since.
Haven't seen them.
Ain't seen them since.
Bottom of the line, back of the line.
Right. Street Profits and are seemingly getting something going with Cross and the crew, but we'll see if that develops into something as good as what we've had with New Day and Imperium. That's still to be determined. Yeah, there just doesn't seem to be that investment, and this match showed that. Like, imagine as good as as much praise as I'm heaping on this match, as good as I think this match actually was. Imagine how much better it could have been had there been a storyline going into it. Had there been some actual real build up to it. Had they actually had maybe like some few weeks to go back and forth, to attack each other backstage, to interfere, to talk shit on the mic, to do something to give us a reason to give a damn about the match before it actually happened.
Well, I mean, New Catch Republic did win a tournament, but I mean that doesn't make a
but it was
between them and the Judgment Day, I guess. But
right, like they won a tournament, but it was basically it might as well have been a computer simulation tournament. It was just team A versus team B. All right,
another
team
one
A
in WWE
Team
2K.
C versus Team D. Yeah, that might as well all it might have been, because there was no build up to any of the matches other than the fact that they won last week. Now they fight this week. None of the teams like talked any trash to each other or talked any trash going into the tournament or nothing. There was like no interaction between teams outside of the matches themselves. There was no interaction outside of the matches. There's no investment on behalf of the fan.
I mean, like, I always thought, like, Elimination Chamber between Rumble and WrestleMania, right? Some matches and some pay-per-views are going to be buffers, and some are going to progress the story. This is a buffer for me, because where do these two guys go after this, you know? Either or. Like, who's going to be the ones to feud with these guys at WrestleMania? And what happens to, you know, the losers now? Bottom with the Creed brothers, you know, back of the line, I guess, right? But, you know, where the heck does the Judgment Day go from here? I have no idea what up-and-coming tag team, unless I think it's going to be The Miz and R-Truth. I mean, that's what I think it's going to be.
Dude,
that's certainly a possibility.
Yeah,
I could see DIY and The Miz and R-Truth versus all of Judgment Day in a 4-man and just not defend the titles.
Dude, can we talk about how much fucking heat Dom got just for grabbing the mic?
Oh,
so
yeah. Well,
heat.
yeah. If you're a diligent listener of the program, you know, one of my big questions was what kind of reception is Dom going to get, and how is that going to affect Rhea? And the answer to the first is they fucking hate him.
Yeah, so
much so that they have to black out the screen for a minute, which I don't quite understand why they did that, but because I guess everyone in the front row was giving him the finger so bad.
Yeah, I heard
screen out.
Yeah, I think that was the reports.
It affected Rhea by them not being together at all. So,
yeah, I think that's the reports I heard. I guess the reaction was so visceral from the Australian crowd that they felt it wasn't appropriate for television. I don't know if it was just flipping the birds or what they were saying that was being picked up on mics or what. Yeah, I guess it was so strong that they were like, yeah, let's not put that on TV.
There was a Dom's a wanker chant, which I always appreciate. So-and-so is a wanker. That's always one of my favorite overseas chants.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's great. I mean, just how hated he is, you know, his character.
I think they're gonna split him and Rhea up.
You have to
sooner rather than later.
Yeah, you have to.
I don't know how you do it, but
does it happen before or after Mania?
After, I think.
It seems a little too soon to be now.
Maybe Dom has part in her losing her title, and that's what causes the separation. Like, I could see that. Like, you're the reason why I lost my title. Yeah, mommy, no more.
But she's getting to be like, she can't be a heel anymore. Right now, anyway.
Yeah.
And he's still the biggest heel in the company, and they can't be together anymore. I don't think.
But look how they made it work thus far, though, right? Like, we got this far.
Yeah, but we've gotten this far because they keep throwing Dom in the way of the cheers that are coming for Rhea.
Yeah.
Like Rhea comes out and she's getting cheered, and then they throw Dom in the way basically as a wall to try to block the cheers because they know everybody's going to boo the crap out of him.
Right?
I mean, we're seeing her less and less with the rest of Judgment Day anyway.
Yep.
So far she's actually, has been coming out just herself. And then the Judgment Day guys have been coming out on their own. We saw it this past Monday on Raw.
Yeah.
Rhea came out on her own to celebrate her win, and then was interrupted by Becky Lynch, and both of them were being cheered equally.
Yeah, and the only interaction she had with Judgment Day, she was admonishing them.
Yeah, and then we saw Judgment Day come out during Gunther's segment, and on the subject of what the hell they're going to do going into WrestleMania, that just, I don't know what the fuck they're doing with that. They made it seem like Damian was the one who really wanted a piece of Gunther, but Dom's the one who stepped up into his face, which Gunther versus Dom, fuck yeah. Gunther versus Damian Priest, fuck no.
See, that still feels like a Raw match to me, not a WrestleMania 40 match.
What, Gunther versus Priest?
Or Gunther versus either of them.
I can see Gunther versus Dom being WrestleMania.
I think Gunther versus Dom is a more appealing.
Yeah, I can see that being a WrestleMania match. I mean, give Dom the platform to really prove himself as a singles competitor, even though he'd be heel as a fuck. And if you have any
heel too,
and if you have any designs on turning Gunther face, which I don't see why. I don't think it's time yet. I don't think the fans have embraced him enough yet to warrant that. I think he's still doing great work as a heel, and I would much rather see him become world champion as a heel than as a face. But I mean, if you kind of want to test the waters of where he's at with the fans, put him up against Dom and see how much they cheer for him.
Yeah, but you got Chad Gable sniffing around Gunther again. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the hell they're doing there. I don't know if it's going to end up being a multi-man match or what. I mean, they keep saying Sheamus is going to come back and he's going to fight Gunther, but I mean, they better hurry the fuck up with that because they're running out of time.
Yeah, I mean, we got, 40 days?
39 days.
Yeah. So, I mean, I kind of don't want to see them do another multi-man match for the IC belt because they just did that last year with Sheamus and Drew and Gunther, but it also seems like there's way too many people in the mid-card scene right now for them to not do something with them at WrestleMania. So I don't know. Maybe this is all building up towards a big match that they have on Raw to determine the number one contender for Gunther's belt. So maybe that's what they're going with this.
Well, let's get back to these tag belts here. Did you guys notice that Finn Balor injured his finger?
Yep.
Yeah, he was holding
Fuck that thing up pretty nasty.
Yeah, like it's funny because like that's the last place that the camera pans in on is like him holding his finger. Like, damn, dude, that sucks.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the finish with the double choke slam off the second rope, and then Finn with the tag for the coup de grace and for the pin. Man, like Damon, going into WrestleMania, still money in the bank, winner. That's still a factor. But
that it is, and I almost thought for a second they were gonna
do that tonight.
Like not tonight, but like they're almost kind of leaning towards having him cash in on the IC belt. Mm-hmm. And is that the way that you get the IC belt off of Gunther? Is have Damian Priest cash in after a match or something like that and win it?
We've seen
Gunther even said that. He's like, I know you're not going to cash it in on me. Right?
Yeah. I mean, like, we've seen it with the United States title before.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible.
I mean, and there does, yeah. And
like
there doesn't seem to be any space for him to cash in on any type of world champion because
hell no.
I don't see him cashing in on Drew. He ain't cashing in on Cody. He ain't cashing in on Seth. He been had opportunity to do that. He damn sure ain't cashing in on Roman. So it almost seems like he's destined to cash in on the mid-card title. And I could almost see that happening at WrestleMania. Like Gunther has whatever match he has with whoever he has, wins, comes out on top. Enter Damian Priest, cash in, defeats him, and takes the IC belt out of WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. And that's how you get the IC title off of Gunther.
Yeah,
without having him be defeated, which I don't know if I like that either because you've put all this time into building up Gunther and the Intercontinental Championship into this major belt. To restore it to its past glory. You got this iconic reign that's not quite Roman Reigns level, but it's probably the second. It's number 2 with a significant distance between it and anything else right now, as far as quality of title reign, as far as the substance of it, and to just have that end on a Money in the Bank cash in and not give that honor to somebody deserving of it, like somebody gets that privilege of being the one who ended Gunther's reign. That's going to be that if done right, that's a boon for somebody. That's a big boost for somebody. To be like, hey, I'm the one that ended the longest Intercontinental title reign in WWE history. I still feel like that should go to a person, but I'm not sure if it will. And if it doesn't, that's going to be a little disappointing.
We always think it should.
I think it'll keep it elevated.
Right.
I mean, it's
Brock
like
Lesnar beats the streak. We've seen this kind of thing happen before, where you think it's going to be some young up and comer, and then it isn't.
Well, I think last year with the United States title cash-in,
they get a triple or Grand Slam.
Right. I think last year with the United States title cash-in kind of proved that it was a chance that they took, but it also showed that hey, no title is safe. We're not just after these 2 main titles. No title is fucking safe. So I think Damian, who people are eyeing, this guy is supposed to be the next world champion. This guy is supposed to be the next WWE Undisputed Universal Champion, right? Because he has the briefcase. No, maybe he's supposed to be the next Intercontinental Champion. Maybe he's supposed to keep that title elevated. Maybe not to Gunther status, but I know we talk about that's a perfect opportunity to make somebody big, and maybe that is Damian Priest. Maybe that's where he needs to be until he is ready to be a world champion. But yeah, what happens after this? We have a kind of a break, don't we? After this match.
Yes, a 55-minute break between the end of this match and the start of the next match.
Are you for real? Because when I started the
pay-per-view, you have Grayson Waller effect in between there. That's only 22 minutes. That's not even half of the 55-minute. Can you imagine sitting there in 100 degrees and you only get 5 matches over the course of 4.5 hours? Well, I think there was only I wrote it down. I gotta go back. An hour and 15 minutes of actual wrestling on a 4.5-hour show.
Right. Yeah.
Loaded.
4.5 hours, and I was like, holy shit. It's the kickoff show.
Including 15 minutes between that match ending and the men's chamber started.
Oh my god. Yeah, I can't believe how quickly I was able to rewatch it because I fast forwarded through a bunch of crap.
Yeah. Oh my god. I understand these cities are paying big money to draw these events. I get it. But good lord, with all these fucking tourism ads and shit, it's so phony baloney,
We won't be able to fast forward through all this shit when we go to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
We're going to be forced, our eyes are going to be pried open, and we're going to be forced all of it. I'm going to have
I think there won't be quite that much fluff.
I'm gonna have all these sponsors.
Hopefully not at WrestleMania.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to be in the mood to eat Slim Jims and stuff from all the Slim Jim ads. Dre, what do you want to talk about for this segment with the Grayson?
How much of a goddamn waste of time and bullshit this fucker was?
Yeah,
Dude,
seriously.
We got my favorite part was when Austin Theory was about to get thrown out of the ring, and he was holding the microphone, and he didn't let go of the microphone. If you smell...
Yeah, that made for a nice replayable moment, but
yes, it is.
Outside of that, this was a complete fucking waste of time that only happened because Grayson Waller is an Aussie.
You know what, Dre?
And they had to let the hometown boy come out in his hometown.
And you're absolutely right. It is a replayable moment. Here we go.
Finally, Austin Theory has come to Perth, Australia to finish his story.
No, he's good.
That's your boy, right?
The kid's good, man. Hey, you got the big one? You got the big one? You know, you got the big one. Come on. Jacket off. Take the jacket off. Come on. Come on, big body. Take the jacket off. Show him. Show him what it's all about. Yeah, that's it. Come on.
If you smell... Cody Carter. Here it comes, Corey.
Okay, that one clip.
Yeah, and
they could have at least attempted to advance the story somehow.
I know.
And instead, you get Cody once again not telling us why he flip flopped and changed his mind and changed it back about WrestleMania, and then he challenges The Rock to a match. When the fuck is this match going to happen? Like, are we going to add a third night to WrestleMania? We're supposed to get this tag match. We can't also get this Cody Rock match. Like, they keep promising these things. They're not going to be able to give it all to us. So, like, what the fuck are they doing?
And once again, playing Seth for the sidekick.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't
Cody.
mind if we see
I
that
challenge
Cody
you,
Rock
Rock,
match on SmackDown or something. And you know, of course, that'll be turned into a schmoz or whatever. But like, what the fuck? You can't keep telling us we're getting this tag match. We're getting Rock versus Roman. We're getting Rock versus Cody. We're getting Cody versus Roman. We're getting Seth versus The Rock. You can't tell us all these things and not give us half of it. You know,
right?
He's
just sitting there. I challenge you, Rock, to a match, and Seth is just like, dude, I'm right the fuck here. Like, really? You just still worried about your one-on-one shit? Like, I didn't just spend this past Monday Raw giving you a whole fucking speech about you don't have to do this alone. Like, dude, like you didn't just get your damn throat, spiked to death by a freaking Solo, and I just walked right up to you like, guess that wouldn't happen if you'd had somebody out there with you, huh? And then what do you turn around and do? Rock, I challenge you one-on-one. Like, motherfucker, you just refuse to learn. At this point, Seth should be like, all right, you just want to be stubborn. I'm going to focus on defending my title. You just sit over here and just get stomped out by the bloodline again.
Dre, would you...
Oh, I think Seth's going to do the stomping.
Dre, would
I think
you
Seth's going to turn on his ass at some point. I don't know when, but...
Eventually, but it'll be after Cody's champion. It'll be when Seth decides he wants another title after he loses his. What were you saying?
Would you ever do a shoey?
Fuck no.
Absolutely not.
What the fuck is wrong with people? I never knew what a shoey was.
If I could live the rest of my life without even looking at my own feet, I would.
Right.
Let alone drink out of a shoe. No, thank you.
Nope, that shit can stay right down there in Australia with the rest of them.
Fuck that. No way. Yeah, sure.
It was nasty as fuck when Rhea did it with Grayson Waller at their little press conference.
Their own shoe, dude, because I saw it. They were wearing
her
one
own
shoe.
Damn shoe.
Yeah, fuck that. I've been walking around the airport all day with this. You want me to do a goddamn shoey for no, fuck you.
At least it's your own shoe, I suppose. Better your own shoe than someone else's, but still.
No, better a fresh shoe out the box that ain't been touched by nothing.
Well,
yeah, Dre, you're absolutely right.
Did you see they added a shoe to Grayson Waller's graphic thing that pops up during his entrance?
Oh, really?
No, I didn't.
I noticed it on Raw. I don't know if they had done it before that. But now he's got a shoe that turns over and liquid pours out of it as part of Part of his like CGI
his little computer entrance.
You know what though? Okay, fine. Every week I want to see goddamn Grayson Waller drink out of a fucking shoe. I want him to go to a fan, take off your shoe. I'm going to drink a shoey out of it right now. Every week. Until his career's through. That's his new gimmick.
Some poor Iowan is going home in negative 15-degree weather with one shoe soaking wet.
Right. You know, he can only do that when he's a babyface. So then, yeah, like you said, he's going to be in fucking Iowa or Minnesota somewhere. Some guy's going to go home with a wet shoe, get fucking frostbite in it, and sue the shit out of WWE. And that'll be the end of the shoey.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be hilarious. Not for the guy that lost his foot, but for me.
Nah, because then it'll just be on season 30 of WWE's Lost Treasures.
Yeah.
A frostbite shoe.
The foot that got amputated.
Oh, is it Zach Gowan's?
Yes.
Oh.
Right.
Now, that was a whole leg.
That was a deep cut. No, shit, I didn't mean to say
I'll
that.
get that leg.
Fuck.
Yeah, generally what an amputation is, a deep cut.
Oh, hey-oh!
Oh, Jesus.
Those rotten bastards!
Oh, shit.
Hey, so I guess moving on from that Grayson Waller effect, we finally got to the men's Elimination Chamber match featuring Drew McIntyre of Raw versus LA Knight of SmackDown and Bobby Lashley of SmackDown and Logan Paul of SmackDown and Kevin Owens of SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder who won the match to face the guy on Raw with the championship.
Dude, like, this was the most predictable pay-per-view. Like, I know you can bet on wrestling, right? I wonder what the odds were for half of this crap. Like,
they were astronomical. You would have had to bet $1,000 to win 100 on Drew.
God, it's just like ridiculous. Like,
I think he was like plus 1,200 or something like that.
Now, like, would you guys have paid to go to a pay-per-view knowing all the results? Like, knowing, like, kind of how much we predicted? Like, would you still have gone?
Well, you probably bought your ticket before the card was announced. I mean, we bought our WrestleMania tickets before.
Yeah, but we also knew Roman Reigns was going to be champion.
Yeah.
We were like, yeah, we know Roman Reigns will be champion by then.
Yeah. And if you're in Perth, Australia, you're absolutely buying a show because this is probably not going to be back in Australia for who knows how long.
Yeah.
You know, there's no guarantee they'll be back next year or even the year after that.
Over 5 years since the last time they were there.
Right. Yeah. So if it finally comes around to your country, absolutely you're buying fucking tickets. That's why they're able to book these things in these massive stadiums and sell them the way they do because it's truly an event for them.
Yeah, I mean, this match kind of pissed me off because not how Drew handled some of his pins. He did them very heel-like, or he seized opportunities, but it's the direction of some superstars out of this match. It's the direction of LA Knight. It's the direction of Randy Orton. I don't like where it's going. I don't like the fact that they're steering. What we thought we could possibly get is Logan Paul and LA Knight, the super heel and the super face, the guy who I thought LA Knight going to WrestleMania winning his United States title would be, to me, like when John Cena went to WrestleMania, won his first United States title against Big Show, and that kind of catapulted his career into next year. He was ready to be a world champion. I thought this was it, but instead we're going to be getting Randy Orton and Logan Paul for the United States title for some reason. For some odd
I
reason,
would be surprised if that turns into a multi-man match.
I hope it all does, because I heard.
I think KO gets into that.
They're talking about a ladder match now for WrestleMania, so I hope this is the United States title is the ladder match they're talking about, because having Randy Orton and Logan Paul 1-on-1 kind of the title doesn't make sense. Like, Randy Orton doesn't need the United States title right now. The United States title doesn't need Randy Orton right now, and to put us with LA Knight and AJ Styles, I understand when AJ Styles returned, the first man he attacked was LA Knight. I get it, but is it really a story?
That's water on him. We should have known that.
Is it a story that I'm interested in? Like, no, not now, not really. I mean, I am kind of bored with heel AJ Styles, because don't know why he turned heel, don't know why he doesn't like the OC, don't know why now the OC is right now as we speak on NXT, wrestling for a tag match. Why? And he's in the chamber, and
he's just muscle bound and mad.
Yeah, exactly, dude. He's angry, Styles. I just want to know more, Styles. Tell me why. Tell me why you're so goddamn angry. But I just don't like the
AJ stands for angry jobber.
I just don't like the direction it's going with these guys. And where's KO go? Where are we going with KO for Mania? I'm kind of lost in the weeds. I think he's gonna be the guy. Doyle, you're probably right. If there is a ladder match maybe involving the United States title, that's where I see KO being thrown into. Doyle, you mentioned
because like I said about the pod stuff, right? Like, Logan Paul did all sorts of hilarious shit while he was in that pod, and they didn't really show any of it on the broadcast. You had to go to social media to see that stuff.
Yep.
But he was writing like Kevin sucks, and he was doing he had a marker in there.
Put the horns on it. Said, these my horns because I'm on demon time now.
Yeah, like he was doing hilarious shit in there.
And that's stuff that we've never seen.
I think KO definitely has issues with him still.
Who does?
So I think that's at least a 3-way, if not a 4, 5, 6-man match. But I mean, I guess I was dead wrong about they're not going to send somebody all the way to Australia for a run-in. I guess I was wrong. But, like, look, I understand that the going the distance in the chamber is different than going the distance in the Rumble. But do we need to have somebody go the distance in both matches? And do we need to have a run-in in the chamber 2 years in a row? Like, can't we think of other things to do or different ways to tell the story? I mean, I guess there's only so many combinations of things you can do. But, Christ almighty, it just felt very recycled.
Very much so. It definitely did. And
do you guys remember,
honestly, I don't think this men's chamber match was as good as the men's chamber match from last year.
No,
last year's was much better between Montez Ford just absolutely showing out in the ring. There wasn't really anybody in this match that really showed out. I thought Logan Paul was going to fulfill that role, but he really didn't.
No, he didn't do anything crazy. Nobody did.
These guys are trying to stay WrestleMania safe, is what I like to say. Like, nobody wants to get injured. Nobody wants to get hurt. You're so close to WrestleMania. Like, these guys, it's odd, too. I find it so odd that we have this kind of match before WrestleMania. Like, if there's any kind of match that's going to really put somebody on the injured roster, it's this type of fucking match. So, that didn't make sense to me.
One thing I will say, though, coming out of this match, that if there's anyone, I think out of all the people in this match, I think the one who's actually the most at risk right now, I think is LA Knight. Because he's been the most over superstar on the roster, arguably, for the last, 6 to 8 months now?
Yeah.
And what does he have to show for it? Absolutely nothing. He still gets the huge pops. He can cut the promos. He's being featured in high-profile matches, but he ain't got no wins.
Much more shelf life that has.
I mean,
exactly. So, I mean, and we've all been expecting that this was going to lead up to, like, after he lost to Roman at Crown Jewel, we all expected that this was going to lead up to like, okay, he lost that. We expected that, even though some people thought that he would be the one to end Roman's reign. Like, the fuck were you people thinking? But we all thought coming out of that, like, okay, fine. They're setting him up to win at WrestleMania. And we were thinking that was going to be his moment, his moment of, I guess, of being solidified as a true top guy by winning the U.S. title at WrestleMania. Well, that seems to be up in the air now because Logan Paul seems preoccupied with Kevin Owens and possibly Randy Orton as well. So I don't see how LA Knight fits into that.
I could see AJ and LA Knight getting thrown into that big clusterfuck ladder match.
Absolutely.
Maybe thrown in, but what I'm saying is, like, they didn't do anything to kind of set up any LA Knight Logan situation, and that's what we were thinking was going to happen. So if LA Knight comes out of WrestleMania not the U.S. champion, and honestly, I don't even know if winning it, I guess winning it in a ladder match would suffice, but if he doesn't come out of WrestleMania as the United States champion, we might have to start looking at him and wondering how creative or how the higher ups actually feel about LA Knight. Because it hasn't been we haven't talked about it or touched on it at all much, but there has been some small rumoring or some small whispers that LA Knight's backstage persona, I guess, or how he's viewed backstage isn't the most positive. Not saying that he's like extremely disliked by the locker room, but I don't think he's one of those guys in the locker room that's universally beloved. And if you combine that with his age, even though he still seems to be in prime condition, it almost makes me wonder if creative or if the higher ups don't quite believe in LA Knight as much as the fans do. And are they just basically using him for the pops that he gets, for the merchandise that he sells, and this, that, and the third, without having any real plans of solidifying him as a top guy?
Sure,
not saying that is the case, but I mean, it is something to consider.
There's only so many top spots, too.
Yeah. But usually these guys that are as over as him at some point get some sort of gold around their waist. And they usually do it in they usually tend to capitalize fairly quick on somebody that would be this over, as LA Knight seems to be.
Right. But
and if they're still not doing it with him, if they're still unwilling to put gold on him, we're talking 10 months of this wave and he hasn't gotten anything yet. And we might have to start taking a look at him and start wondering, like, what's missing here? Why aren't they putting something on him?
Well, we got Triple H just trying to set records and making sure titles don't go to anybody because they got bigger plans. And
hey, it's long-term storytelling.
Yeah, but ain't nobody trying to set a fucking record with Logan Paul.
The same time when, LA Knight's a hot commodity, as soon as, Rumble season comes around, guess who comes back? CM Punk. The Rock. I mean, we've seen this before. The guys, the workhorses, are there all year round doing all the work, winning all the fans. And then you got these WrestleMania guys coming in just for the check. They come in, they overshadow these guys, and then we gotta hopefully they were able to stay afloat. And I think LA Knight being here, staying afloat, being in the Elimination Chamber match, not taking a seat, not sitting back at home, not just having a match on SmackDown. He's in the pay-per-view still. He's in the talk. Just like Kevin Owens, Kevin Owens is, it's not even for, he's involved still,
Yeah, he also won the tag team titles at WrestleMania last year.
Yeah, that was
and had a good lengthy run.
Yeah, but
we talked about the Heat, and I know they can't do much of anything about that, but good Lord, were these guys sweaty.
God, yeah, dude, that must have...
Drew especially. Drew looked like Patrick Ewing. Like he had a faucet underneath his hair. Just like, and the sweat was like the mat the first time I watched it through, I'm watching the Rhea Nia match. I was like, why is the ring so dirty? And rewatching it, I realized it was from all the sweat from this match. They were basically wrestling in a fucking kiddie pool full of man sweat. You know, even the ref was fucking drenched.
Yeah, fortunately, I'm pretty sure Nia Jax appreciated being in that full body outfit.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Yeah, and like, what a weird choice. What do you guys think of Randy in this match? Like, what a weird choice to have him like do an injury sell, but then also involve him in like every big spot. Like,
right.
I felt like we're going to do the back thing, maybe do it later in the match, not so early. I was like, what the fuck? He would roll around, he'd get up into a spot and then back down on the mat. Oh, my back. Right. I was just like, what a weird choice.
I'm crippled. RKO out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Long-term booking, pal.
I'm still crippled again. Yeah, it was some weird booking on that end.
Oh my god.
In terms of like you said, him just selling that injury from so early on in the match.
Yeah.
And then making it all the way to the end.
Whoa.
And also getting eliminations and RKOs on people and spots.
Can you guys guess?
Like at first, I was like, "Oh, is he might? Oh, did he really tweak something?" But it was obviously he didn't.
Right.
Because if he did, the refs are talking to him, and that wasn't really going on. But it was just like, what a weird choice. Like, okay, Randy, come in immediately, start grabbing at your back, and then just only get up to do RKOs on people.
You know what else was a weird choice on this PLE? Well, I won't say necessarily a weird choice, but kind of a messed up choice.
What's that?
Both Elimination Chamber matches. Triple H decided to eliminate a black person first during Black History Month.
Well, it's not Black History Month in Australia.
That's true.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah. I mean, you hope it's just a coincidence, but
I know. I was just sometimes just noticed. I was like, "Oh, really? It's gonna eliminate a black person first in both chamber matches during Black History Month, huh, Hunter?"
Did you guys?
Motherfucker, we ain't forgot about WrestleMania 20, motherfucker. We ain't forgot.
Yeah.
Did you guys notice the stats? The 2K stats. Bobby Lashley 89, Logan Paul 90, and Randy Orton 91. What the fuck? Logan Paul 90? What the fuck? Over Bobby Lashley? What the fuck?
I'm pretty sure Logan Paul still has a losing record in WWE.
Yeah, he's lucky to even have that fucking title around his goddamn waist. His win-loss record? Jeez. Oh my god. Dude, I'm sorry. As I'm watching this pay-per-view, when Bobby Lashley's pod goes, his face like he was the next guy out. Like his face is fucking funny. Hey, do you guys want to take a quick break? I'd like to take a bathroom break. You guys cool with that?
Sure.
You guys want to wrap up this segment? Anything else you want to talk about for this match?
There ain't nothing else to talk about. Drew won. Drew's going on to face Seth at WrestleMania. My money's on him winning at WrestleMania.
Yeah, me too.
Especially with the speculation or the rumors floating around that he has potentially or possibly re-signed with WWE, but still kind of hearsay. I don't think it definitely hasn't been confirmed one way or the other, but seems to be increasing rumors that leads to the fact that he has re-signed. But we can talk about that after the bathroom break.
Yeah, bathroom break. Be right back.
Rated T for Teen.
When you're Brock Lesnar, you gotta watch your back. Chris Benoit tried to take me out in the Elimination Chamber.
You're nothing, Lesnar.
And that punk John Cena
I run this terrain. Here comes the pain.
came after me backstage. But no matter what they do, no matter how hard they try, there is nothing and no one that can stop stop me.
You and me, bra and panties match right now.
I win.
No, Brock, we all win. SmackDown, here comes the pain.
I couldn't hear anything there because it sounded like somebody that doesn't exist anymore talking about somebody else that doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, yeah, SmackDown, here comes the pain. Yeah, when I was watching that, it was like, oh, Brock Lesnar. Oh, Chris Benoit. Oh, it's just like a whole trailer I don't think I can play anymore. Like, the audio is distorted and everything. Like, this would be a video game that people won't be able to play anymore. Who's on the cover of that game? I don't think anybody.
Yeah, nothing cringe at all about that promo.
Right? Bra and panties, that's when that was introduced into the game. Do you remember that? Oh, God. Let's move on to the main event.
Yep, which featured Women's World Championship match. Rhea Ripley defending against Nia Jax. Which, folks can say what they want about Nia Jax and how she was in her first run, or being dangerous or reckless or careless or whatever other criticisms folk want to throw at Nia Jax. But anybody who is watching with even the slightest bit of objectivity in her second run, you got to give Nia Jax her props. She has definitely come back much better in this run than she was in her first run. You ain't heard about nobody being injured after a match with her. She's improved her character work. I'm not saying that she's top tier, but she has improved, and her overall match work is better.
Yeah.
And it's all exemplified in this match here. This is probably the best match from Nia Jax that I've ever seen from her. In terms of her work, in terms of her work rate in the ring.
Yeah.
She looked strong. She dominated Rhea Ripley for a good chunk of this match. And it wasn't just a same, simplified moveset. Like, she showed different moves in her repertoire. She showed other things that we haven't seen from her. She took some pretty gnarly spots, some pretty big spots, like the superplex she took off the top, the move on the outside she took. I mean, these two went at it.
She put Rhea through a table.
Putting Rhea through the table. Like, these two they tore the house down.
I mean, she could at least clear the goddamn table before she put someone through it. I mean, if somebody's going to put me through the table, please remove the fucking tablet and stuff. Because I don't want that shit going through my back. Because the table didn't break it
the tablets anymore.
Yeah, they didn't. She didn't remove nothing. Normally you're supposed to. I mean, come on, man. Like, we all know you clear the table. I mean, we've seen guys. Like Orton. I remember seeing him take a spot one time, and one of the cameras hitting him in the back, like one of the monitors weren't moved.
Yeah.
And dude.
But I mean, like, if you watch table spots now, folk really don't clear it like they used to, because it ain't like back in the day where you had those big ass CRTs boxes in there. So you obviously had to take those out beforehand. Now it's just them small little tablets, and I don't know if them things are collapsible or what, but they just be going full send on them table spots now. Catch a little tablet to the rib, and keep it moving.
Yeah, right. It doesn't hurt as much as those old school, monitors. Holy shit, they were used as actual weapons. Like,
right.
God damn. But
yeah, at least they're flat. And unlike this big clunky TVs they used to have.
Yeah, big box this big metal box with a TV in it, like back in the day. Now they're just usually tablets with a kickstand. So.
Yeah. I mean,
getting back to Rhea being safer. You think back to some of the men in the past who've had reputations as being dangerous, hurting people. You think like Ultimate Warrior or Ahmed Johnson or people like that. And they were fucking nobody, you can't find anyone that has anything nice to say about them. But if you follow any of these women on social media, which I only do as research for the show, of course, you'll see them always. They're always taking selfies with Naya. God damn it! I keep wanting to say Naya, and making TikTok dance videos and whatever. So she seems to be pretty popular backstage, and I feel like if she was wrecking people, she wouldn't be.
Exactly. I think some of the negativity that's surrounded her is much more from fans than it is from the actual wrestlers or the locker room.
I feel like she's in pretty high esteem with her peers.
Right. And I mean, yeah. It's more so the fans than it is anyone that's actually having worked with her. Yeah. I
mean, if she was really that big a liability, they wouldn't have brought her back.
No, right. Nor put her in the main event.
Even if she is The Rock's cousin, sort of.
Right. Yeah. And it's not to say that she didn't, and I don't think that management was completely oblivious to those things. I'm pretty sure those were things that were addressed with her, like, hey, you need to work on such and such and this, that, and the third in the ring. So I mean, that stuff didn't go completely unchecked in her past, and it's not completely unfounded from the fans, but it is dramatically overblown by the fans and overstated. I think wrestlers are obviously smart enough and mature enough to recognize that some of these things happen in the ring. Some of these things that y'all think was her being reckless might not have been her being reckless. It may have been the other person who was actually more at fault. Maybe they weren't in the right spot. Maybe they didn't properly do what they were supposed to do in that spot to protect themselves. Or maybe it's just something that just happens to just come with the business. Like, I don't think, obviously she didn't intentionally go to knock Becky Lynch's block off when she punched her, but it was just in the moment. She threw a punch and Becky's face just happened to be in the wrong place at the right time.
And she created a moment there.
Right.
You know what, though? I kind of enjoyed this match more than I thought I was going to. Like, the way they booked Nia through the entire match, like, looking super strong against Rhea. Like, we haven't seen Rhea tossed around like this for a while. Like, I think that anytime Rhea has met some real resistance, may have been like Raquel is when I thought she started getting some resistance. Bianca Belair would have been somebody else who would put some resistance against Rhea. But like Nia came in. She came. Rumble is when she made her return, and then just wreaking havoc since.
When Nia Jax returned?
Yeah,
it was before that.
No,
before
she
that.
Returned
she returned last year at the Rumble.
Yeah, that's
she was
what
away
I'm thinking
for a couple
of.
months.
Yeah,
and then she returned at the Raw in Norfolk because that was the one I actually attended when she made her come with her return during the match with Rhea and Raquel.
I mean, just as recent, she's been booked strong. Like, she beat Becky clean, and then like putting her against Rhea like that. I mean, that was the proper order of events for her to make her look strong going into this. And now like Becky's the next one, the next one in line for the title. So even though she lost, I could still see her involved if this would turn into a triple threat because she has beef with Becky. We talked about this last episode.
Yeah,
I still believe that.
I'll almost be surprised if that doesn't happen.
Stack the odds against Rhea, stack the odds against Becky.
Certainly so, and I'm in agreement with y'all that I would not be surprised if it turned into a triple threat match.
Right.
Although, given how they've got the promo art up there, I think I'm kind of leaning towards it not happening. But I wouldn't be surprised if it did. But I would also be kind of disappointed if it did because it would almost certainly indicate that Nia Jax is being put in there as the sacrificial lamb to protect Rhea and Becky because they don't want either one of them to take a clean loss. And therefore they need somebody that can take the pinfall so that one of them can either retain, so that Rhea can either retain her title or Becky can win the title without making the other one look weak in a loss. So in that regard, I kind of hope it doesn't happen because I don't want that for Nia Jax. As much as I think she deserves to be rewarded for the work she's put in and the improvement in her character work and in-ring performance, and could certainly deserve a match at WrestleMania. I don't know if I want this to be it, just because of what I fear that would mean for her in this match.
Yeah, dude. I totally get it.
Yeah, I'm not so sure. I thought it was a foregone conclusion that Rhea was losing the title, but I don't think that's a foregone conclusion anymore.
No, I'm actually in the opposite direction. I think Rhea's actually going to retain at WrestleMania. If I had to put money on it now,
regardless if it's Becky, and I still think Rhea has a pretty good shot of keeping her title.
Yeah, because I don't think there's any reason for her to lose the title. I think the only reason why people are thinking she's going to lose it is because it's WrestleMania, and typically baby faces go over at WrestleMania. But if there's space for a heel to retain outside of Gunther in the IC title, I think Rhea Ripley retaining. I think she stands to gain more from getting a clean win over Becky Lynch than Becky Lynch stands to have another world title win. Mm-hmm. Especially considering on the other side of the world title picture, I think we're also slated for Seth Rollins to have a loss. So it's not like you get the benefit of having the married couple both rocking the world titles. So if that was a possibility, which I guess there's still a not zero chance of that being a thing, of us having Seth as world champion and Becky as world champion and getting that photo op. Excuse me, I don't think that's likely to happen either.
Dude, I'm watching this now. Like, I'm watching Nia put Becky through the table. Did you know she chose a chair to stand on?
Yeah, I noticed that the chair.
Super sketch.
What the fuck, dude? Like, she chose a chair. Like, I'm sitting on pretty much the same chair, and I'm just like, no fucking way, dude. Like, I won't even stand on my chair to do anything in my office. Like, fuck that.
Yeah, you see how long it took her to set up the spot because she was trying to maintain her balance and keep that thing from rolling out from underneath her and just completely botching the spot. She damn sure made sure to have her stability, but at the same time, where else was she going to jump from? I mean, I guess she could have gotten from the apron area, but that's a question of her balance as well and what her leaping ability is, which don't know what that is. So I mean, that probably was like the best she could do, or the best, and to a certain extent, kind of a smart choice, honestly. The barricade is a little bit higher up, so I mean, taking that leap, if she can't clear that distance, that sets up a potentially ugly spot or dangerous spot. So, I mean, the chair was kind of what it was. Honestly, I think that might have been a bit of an improv too, because I think the intent was supposed to be for her to go through the table on the original slam.
Yeah, I think that was an improv.
Right, and when that didn't work, she had to improvise, and then, all right, fuck it, I'm hopping up on this chair on wheels, and I'm going to yeet this motherfucker on your ass.
Didn't that dumbass Pat McAfee almost fall on his keister doing the same, standing on one of those chairs a couple weeks ago?
I'm sure he has. Things are on damn wheels, and I don't think the casters lock.
Yeah. No.
Maybe that's what they need.
Maybe they need risky business.
Maybe they need chairs with locking casters.
Yeah. What a win for Rhea, though, in front of that crowd, and her family was there. That was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fair to say that she's a show favorite here at PCW. And you're just really going to be happy for her to get a spot like that. Mm-hmm. We've kind of seen a number of talents kind of get their hometown-ish treatment lately. I think I mentioned this a couple of times, but I keep thinking, I think it was Backlash. Was that where they were in Puerto Rico? When Rhea beat Zelina Vega, and then she just got the fuck out of there and, allowed her to soak in the crowd, whereas a heel move might have been to come and, beat down the hometown person. She didn't do that. And I don't remember the timeline if this show had been announced, or not at that time. Maybe she knew about it, but it hadn't been announced. I don't know.
I don't think so, because that was Backlash that was last year's Backlash. That was 2023, so I don't think this had been announced yet.
Yeah, but I mean, like, obviously she's cognizant of moments like that, you know, and it was nice to see her get one, you know, whereas she allowed it to happen for somebody else. And it's another thing I thought while I was watching the match, you know, like through the Golden Age and into Attitude Era, you know, it's World Wrestling Entertainment, and the wrestling was, you know, the big thing. And then kind of through Ruthless Aggression and, you know, the PG era, whatever, it was entertainment. But now the focus seems to be like on the world part more than the other three, which is cool. I mean, I think it's great that, you know, they're going to, you know, Perth is the most isolated big city in the world, you know, like, meaning of large, it's the farthest one from another large city, which is kind of crazy to think about, right? And just shows you how big Australia is. And it's great that, you know, they're going to France this year. They're going to Germany, you know, like, it's cool. It's cool. I hope they can get to even more places. But
you know what we're all waiting for? Yeah. What we're all waiting for, WWE in Japan. When's that happening?
Yeah.
Because it's cool that they're going to all these other places, but they're going to all these other places that don't have their own major wrestling promotions like that. I mean, obviously there are wrestling promotions in Europe, but not on the level of a New Japan.
Well, I remember years ago there was supposed to be NXT Japan, and then I don't, for whatever reason, it hasn't happened yet. I don't know why.
COVID.
I think it's something that still is in the work, because that was part of dismantling the NXT UK, because they were going to do NXT, like you said, in different regions. They were going to do a whole NXT Europe thing, and I think a NXT South America and NXT Asia or NXT Japan or something of that nature, which I don't think those plans have been completely abandoned. They just may be, I guess, a bit backburnered for the moment. That's either way. I'm curious to see with WWE obviously tapping into all these new markets. Yeah. When do they take the bold step and try to put on a show in Japan?
Yeah,
and what time zone is that? Jeez.
Yeah, I mean that's the big one, obviously, because our biggest wrestling promotion probably outside of the United States is New Japan Pro Wrestling. Yeah. So does WWE dare step or come into their territory and try to put on a show, or do they try to do something more collaborative?
Yeah, these are all questions that may or may not ever be answered.
I know. I guess we'll find out, right?
Does Japan even rock with WWE like that? Or are they more really hometowners where it's like, well, okay, we're like maybe a couple of your guys come over here. Obviously, that's been a thing for the longest, of just select wrestlers coming over and putting on shows with Japanese stars, but an entire promotion coming over there and putting on their thing, I'm pretty sure it's been done before, but I really can't think of it. I mean, I know WCW, I think, did it years ago. Wasn't that a Dark Side of the Ring episode?
Well, they went to North Korea.
North Korea. That was North Korea. Yeah, North Korea.
Very different to going to Japan.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's probably the closest we've seen. Obviously, yeah, WCW did collaborative stuff with Japan years ago. We've seen, obviously, what AEW is doing now. And, yeah, but I don't know that WWE, I mean, I'm pretty sure they have done it before, but it wasn't of any major scale. Certainly not to the scale of what they could pull off today.
I mean, in the 90s, they had some kind of, it wasn't with New Japan. It was with, it was some company that wasn't around for very long. But they did. That's why it was WrestleMania 7. There's like a Japanese tag team that beats Demolition for some reason. And it's like, what?
Right.
And then they had a couple of weeks later, there were WWE guys after the time match over in Japan, And one of those matches is famous because whoever Earthquake was fighting, who's actually one of the guys on the WrestleMania show, but they get in like an actual fight, and the guy tries to rip Earthquake's eye out of his skull, and it ends with him having a temper tantrum, and he gets the microphone, and he's like, everything, wrestling is fake. None of this is real. If this was real, I would have kicked this fat American's ass. No problem. Like, yeah, it was a big to do.
Holy crap.
It's on YouTube. Go check it out, kids.
We have a question for the podcast. If you guys want to answer that. Here we go. Let me play the bumper.
Would you like to answer a question right at this particular time? Would you like to do that?
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. And I want to have them answered immediately.
Can I ask a question, Macho Man? More questions. I'm sorry about that.
Now, this one also comes from Andrea. She likes to write in every episode. We kind of touched base about this a little earlier with Damian Priest and what he would be doing with the Money in the Bank briefcase, but I'll read this out anyway. She says, do you think there is a possibility that Damian Priest will cash in at WrestleMania, especially if Cody Rhodes wins the title against The Rock or Roman Reigns, whoever it is? Will Cody ever finish his story? Which feels like a choose-your-own-adventure book at this point. Yeah, we kind of touched base on, where it would be good Damian to cash that in. We talked about him cashing in maybe on the IC champ. But honestly, and we kind of touched base too with Cody, we have no idea. We have no idea where this is going. I honestly, we're less than, 38 days away? And I have no idea what the main event is, night 1 or night 2. Like, I really don't. Like, people, I have this guy at my work, he's like, who's The Rock facing? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know who's facing who. We had so many ideas going through what would have been good possibilities, and I think they're just like waiting last minute. And, every week we get promos that kind of lead to nothing, that go nowhere. It's just stalling. It's filibuster. That's what we're getting. We're getting filibuster, and I'm getting frustrated. So, I don't know if you guys want to have anything to talk about that.
Well, on the regards to the main events of night 1 and night 2, we absolutely know what the main event of night 2 is going to be. It's going to be Cody versus Roman. Like, I don't see that changing up at all. Like, they already tried to switch things up, and you saw what the massive backlash to that was. So, night 2, main event, Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Championship. You can lock that in as much as something can be possibly locked in. And I am certain that Cody will walk out as champion, because I don't think there's any way in hell you can pull off the same thing again in terms of Cody losing again and not finishing his story. You done put this man on the cover of your 2K24 game. He is the face of your company right now. And while I thought he should have won it last year at the time, looking back at it in hindsight, I can understand why he didn't. Like, there was a valid argument to be made either way last year. So the fact that he didn't win it last year, I understand that. I can accept that. There's no way in hell you can pull that off again. There is no, in my opinion, no legitimate argument that can be made as to why Cody would not win this year.
You don't think they could
Roman would continue as champion?
You don't think they could do this? You don't think they could do the same match 2 years in a row and have the same results 2 years in a row? You don't think they could do that?
2 years in a row? No. Not in this case.
They've done it before.
I'm pretty sure that has been done before. I just don't see it happening in this case, under these circumstances.
I'll tell you.
I mean, hell, we had Stone Cold beat The Rock twice at WrestleMania main events with basically 1 year in between them. That was an off year. So yeah, I know that we can get similar matches with similar outcomes.
A good one? Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker, back-to-back years. Talk about like being able to walk away with a loss. Like Shawn Michaels never got that W over Taker at WrestleMania ever. And even like when we got John Cena versus The Rock, John Cena didn't win in his first year. I remember him sitting his ass on that stage as that pyro went off.
Right. He didn't win it the first year. What happened the second year?
Yeah.
He won.
I mean, like that's what I mean. Is it like where it's just, is this like a Shawn Michaels Taker thing where like Cody just never finishes his story, he never gets what he wants, or is this like a John Cena Rock where like this year I'm wiser, this year's my year. Like you got the W last year, this time I get the W. I mean,
well, the thing for me with Cody finishing his story is the then what? You know, like, okay, so he finishes the story, then what? He's going to go have a title reign. Like, what is that going to look like? What's going to be compelling about that? One of the big differences between WWE and NWA, Jim Crockett Promotions, WCW, whatever, was that the latter often had the faces were chasing the heel champion, whereas in WWE it was always the face champion just crushing the heel of the week. And I always have felt that like the money's in the chase, and once you get the thing, it's always like, oh, what now? So I hope that if they're going to finally do this with Cody and he is going to finish his story, I hope they've given an awful lot of thought to what happens the next day on Raw, because if Cody does do this and then has a fucking flop of a title reign, what was all this for?
It was for the moment. It was for the moment of him getting the win and becoming the champion. As we've seen with other faces of the company, they got to get there first. They got to become the champion. They got to have their moment. Like, the Austin 316 era has begun. Can we say that every Stone Cold Steve Austin title reign was truly memorable? Probably not. But he was the face of the company, and that's where the money was. The money was in him being the representative of the company, being the face, and winning the title, and then eventually losing it to somebody, and then being back in the chase and winning it again, and being that perpetual guy that just remained at the top for the duration. That's kind of been WWE's formula, even with John Cena as the face. The moment was, honestly, I don't even know how memorable John Cena's first WWE title win was, partially because I probably wasn't watching at that time, but for others who were bigger Cena fans, that might be a memorable moment for them.
Hell yeah. Against JBL, he was the United States champion, and then he beat Big Show 1 year at WrestleMania, then he won a whole year, lost his title to Orlando.
No, I'm talking about the first one. The first one.
Yeah,
not all the other ones, but the first time John Cena became WWE champion. How does that rank as memorable one?
Definitely.
Hogan, he beat Iron Sheik for his first title win. Austin, we remember WrestleMania 14. Sorry, 14 against Shawn Michaels. The Austin era has begun. So what happens after the fact is TBD, but you got to have the moment first.
Well, I would also say that back then people had way less title runs. Like how many title runs did Stone Cold have? 3 or 4? Or Cena had 15? Like
Shawn
so.
Michaels
you want to ask me about a specific John Cena title run? I couldn't fucking tell you because he had so goddamn many. I don't remember which is first, which was his third, which was his eighth, which I don't know. But we remember. The boyhood dream is realized. We remember Austin's era has begun.
Right? Exactly. So you got to have that for Cody.
Have 17 more title reigns. Yeah.
So all I'm saying is that we can cross those bridges when we get to them. but you got to have the first one. He has to have, like you said, Cody has to have his boyhood dream moment. His Austin 316 era has begun moment. He's got to have that. And his will be finishing the story. So he's got to have that first.
Mm-hmm.
Then what goes from there, it'll probably just be like any other babyface champion. He'll face his whatever heel rises up to challenge him, and he'll knock him down until they decide that whoever is worthy of dethroning him, whether that be Gunther or a heel Seth Rollins or whoever. But that's down the line. For right now, Cody's got to have his moment.
Dude.
But getting back to the actual question that was asked about freaking Damian Priest and Judgment and his cash-in.
Oh, yeah, that.
Yeah, that. I think we're still, like we mentioned before, I think if there's going to be a cash-in from Damian Priest, it seems slated to happen with the IC title potentially, because I don't see any space for him in the undisputed WWE title or world title picture for a cash-in. I just don't see it. I don't see him cashing in on him.
Technically.
Say what?
He has till July.
Right, he does have till July. I mean,
but I mean, I think his run with the briefcase has been terrible. Yeah, I think it's like bottom 30 worst ones.
Yeah, we've definitely talked about that. Yeah, and I'm in total agreement with you. But assuming that Drew defeats Seth Rollins at WrestleMania and becomes the new World Heavyweight Champion, which I definitely think is going to happen. Do we think Drew has a short title reign? Do we think he carries it past whenever the Money in the Bank?
I mean, I could see him beating Seth and immediately getting cashed in on and losing it, and then he's even more pissed off because he finally won the title in front of people and immediately lost it.
To Damian Priest at WrestleMania?
Maybe.
Ooh, that was bold. That is bold to say the least.
I'm not predicting it, but it's a possibility.
Oh, yeah, it is. But, man, that's going to take some titanium balls to pull that one off.
Did you guys see Sean Spears / Ty Dillinger / Chelsea Green's man? No, not Chelsea Green.
No.
Peyton Royce. Former wrestler Peyton Royce. Cassie Lee. Her man just showed up on NXT. He had the number 10 gimmick. Man, that sucks. He could have showed up at the Rumble, been number 10. Bummer. Yeah, when the hell is Zack Ryder coming back, man? All these rumors about this man coming back, and he sounds like he's pushing hard to come back. And I said, dude, what's the holdup? Wow, seriously, what's the holdup?
My guess is WWE doesn't have any interest in him.
I guess. I mean,
didn't he re-sign with TNA?
I don't know what his status is. And like in other news,
I don't know that he's TNA. I think he's appeared for them, but I don't think he's signed by them.
And also, like former WWE wrestler Dolph Ziggler, and who was the other wrestler who just won a title? That's a former. Who?
Riddle.
Title.
Riddle
and
Ali. Mustafa Ali.
Oh, Mustafa Ali.
Yeah. So just in a few weeks.
And Riddle. Didn't Riddle win something too?
Yeah, Riddle.
Oh, no, he won a New Japan title, didn't he?
But he still won a title. What I'm getting at is these guys, former WWE guys, they've been out of the company for a short amount of time, and thus far immediately going to another company and getting a title slapped on them quickly. And we kind of talked about that when they got released, and it's funny how fast the wheels go into motion, and that happens. Like, we're like, oh, they'll probably throw a New Japan Wrestling title on this guy, and, give it a month or two, and it's exactly how we predicted it. I mean, good for them. I hope they can elevate whatever roster that they're on currently, squeeze some juice out of those guys, because, some of them still have a lot of talent left to give. A lot left. A lot of gas left in the tank.
Speaking of signings, the WWE just signed Tama Tonga, who is Haku's nephew, I think, or something. I'm not sure if he's in the bloodline or not. I feel like Haku is, so maybe I don't know.
You got to go back to the Rock's PowerPoint presentation.
He was in a tag team called the Gorillas of Destiny, who were pretty big in New Japan, part of the Bullet Club.
Technically, I don't think Haku is in that Anoa'i. I don't think Haku is part of the Anoa'i family. I don't think he is, technically.
Okay. I can't. That's so. As we saw the graphic of the family tree, it's pretty extensive. But anyway, that might be somebody to look at going forward. Interesting.
Tongan, yeah. Haku is a Tongan professional wrestler. Yeah. And so he doesn't even. I don't think he's not even Samoan technically.
Is he related to
either is
Tonka man?
Either of the Snookas, but then they're part of the thing. I don't know. There's a lot of like brother relationships.
Yeah.
So they're not technically like The Rock and Roman Reigns are not genetically related, but they're this blood brother thing is a significant thing in their culture. And so they're considered family to each other, which is, who am I to argue? If The Rock says so-and-so is his cousin, I'm yes, sir, Mr. Johnson, sir.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's clearly been accepted into that family. He technically holds the rank of High Chief.
Yeah.
Within that family and within that actual bloodline, Roman Reigns is a TV head of the table. Rock has an actual title in the family.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure The Rock bought the table. Like, he's the one supplying the chairs to the table. Like, everyone's coming to his house to sit at his table.
I mean, we ain't about to, don't downplay Roman too much now. Roman paying some bills out there.
Yeah, it's real Game of Thrones now, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, Roman kicking in on the rent.
Dre, do you got anything you want to plug?
Nothing as of podcasts? This week. No, nothing really. Like I said, as always, you know where to find me in the PCW Discord.
Yeah. Doyle, man, you got anything you want to plug?
Yeah, just in the Discord and like the Facebook page.
Oh yeah, the Facebook page. I for sure am going to get myself a Philly 316 shirt, I think. Very cliche, but I do not care. I'm going to get one. I was looking at the Philly shirts while you guys were talking. So I was like, I'm going to put that in the wish list and wait for that to go down in price. But, yeah, if you want to reach out, you can check out our website at Podcast Championship Wrestling at podium.com. And all our links are there. You can get to our store, you can get to our Discord, you can get to our social media. All our episodes are there. You know what? Just everything is on the website. Just everything. We're less than 39 days away to our trip to Philly, to Wrestlemania. Well, for Doyle, a trip to his backyard.
Yes.
Us, an actual trip, some farther than others. Me, only an hour, thank God. Dre, it's a whole ordeal. Carlos, that it's an ordeal of a trip for him.
Even farther, yeah.
Yeah, and there's a couple people from around here, friends of mine, listeners. Dwayne is going. You guys are going to meet Dwayne finally. We're all going to get together. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fucking fun. So, I'm excited. You know what? I might try to squeeze in another episode or two before WrestleMania. Do we have another pay-per-view? Like, we have NXTs, right? Yeah, so, we got time. So, I'm going to squeeze in some episodes. So, yeah, for sure. But that's all I got, guys.
All right.
Yeah.
Until next time.
Yeah.
Go Bees, go Steves.
Yeah.
Yeet. Live at Optus Stadium for the final PLE stop before WrestleMania, Elimination Chamber. The
It's been an incredible night. The official attendance, 52,590.
They pull the trigger like a cold hard killer, but then they play the victim to manipulate the system. They synthesize reality to sell what you don't need. They drain us of our portion just to paint another portrait. Cutting the ties with
Becky's going to Wrestlemania.
When your eyes go pitch black, we become the night where hope survives. We embrace the shadow, following behind. So come alive and take back your soul while we become the light.
Welcome to the Grayson Waller effect.
Rock, I want to wrestle you
Anytime, any place. You think you're gonna face The Rock? It doesn't matter what you think. If you're some man. It is now time for our Elimination Chamber men's match.
As the hourglass becomes your reaper, we've come to take what's ours. We become the light, so run and hide, screaming out like thunder. Then become the night.
You are the world's dumbest son of a bitch.
The fact that day in and day out, for almost 6 years, I have proved to everybody in the world that I am the best on this microphone, in that ring, even at commentary. Nobody can touch me.
You are not ready for Oscar!
Because the Street Profits are up and we want the smoke. You're next. Talk about your songs, talk about John 3:16. Austin 3:16 says I just whipped your ass. Well, let me tell you something, brother. New day.
Cream will rise to the top. Oh yeah, Macho Madness here.
Welcome to the Kevin Owens Show. Lately, he just hasn't been very oozy. Because I'm the Miz, and I'm awesome.
Those rotten bastards.
bye-bye, bitch.